about training animals on electric. So we use Premier One's posts with clips, and then we run a wire through these clips. I love how simple it is. My kids can do it. I can do it. I use this hammer, just pound them into the ground, and then run wire through it. Now, this works for our goats and our pigs. And right now, I'm training the 2 babies onto it. They can go into pasture as soon as we do this. I'm just out here in the field and I realized I didn't have my camera equipment, but I want to show you what I'm doing. These particular posts were used for the goats this past fall when we had them grazing out here without the main wire fence. I'm gonna take the electric line that I ran, that you guys watched me run for the pigs and the goats to keep them separated this winter. I'm gonna run that line further because I have a whole spool of it and run it down here. And essentially all I'm gonna do is wait for these 2 to touch that line. Once they touch the line and they understand what it is, they hear it humming and they do not mess with it again. It's that simple. It really is. Have a line, have it charged, and put it somewhere where they are going to touch it. Obviously, they're out here. You can see them. They're grazing here with me. They've never been introduced to electric before. I imagine it'll take less than a week, probably only a couple days. They'll be trained, and then we can put them out in the main pasture with the goats. So as you can see here, we've got these. I'm gonna put them all about the same height. So for these babies, I'm just untwisting them. You just twist them to tighten them and untwist them to loosen them. And I'm gonna move them down to about here. So that's where their nose height is when they're grazing down here and they look up, blambo, they'll get hit. And like I said before, this is really easy. The wire just goes up and under. So simple. The second line I want at their face height. So let's see, about there. So you can see they're not too far apart, but it definitely gives a good spacing between. So if they're coming at it straight, they'll get it right here. The reason I'm wearing gloves on this hand is because these posts are fiberglass, and I have found that the fiberglass posts give me slivers, and I am not about to do that. So while I'm messing with these, I don't need my gloves on, but if I'm holding the post at all, I want to be wearing gloves so that I don't get slivers. So yeah, so I'm going to finish doing that. The spool of wires down here, and I will just take this spool of wire down here. Let me show you. I'm gonna take it from this section, and I'm just gonna run it down all the way for the bottom line and then run it all the way back for the top line. Hello, Hazel. Hello, Iris. What are you guys doing, huh? Following me around. Out in the pasture. You guys are cute. You're gonna love being on big pasture. They have quite a bit of pasture here. It's fine. That needs to go. It's one of my many issues. It's been out here for years. They have stuff to nibble and chew on and different branches and leaves, but it'll be better for them to be in the pasture with the goats, which is right beyond those trees. Much more shade and just a nicer pasture overall. See, and they're already curious about these and rubbing their heads, so it means it'll be very quick and easy to train them. Like I said, I want to show you how easy it is to do this. Forgive me, I do not have any of my camera equipment. Yeah, I'm out here in the field and I don't want to walk all the way back up to the house. So, wire, I twist it sideways and go in. And then it sits in here. They can't pull it out because the top part on this side isn't going to let it go up. And then the bottom part on this side isn't going to let it go down. And I just run my wire down. Doing this one-handed to the next post. And I'll put it in. And then I'll show you how I loop it around. Okay, so I'm up at the barn. Again, loop it through. And then I'm going to run it up. I make sure that this is the top one on this side. And then I loop it around. Let's see if we can get a good picture. I'm doing this one-handed, guys. Sorry. Loop it around this way. So I looped it around the bottom one. Make sure that the top, so it isn't just going to pop out, is on this side. So you have to like flip it around to set it that way. Pay attention to that. And then I took it up here. I looped it on this one. And now I'm going to run it back down that way on that second line. This allows for 2 lines. So if they don't touch the bottom one, they will touch the top one. And they will learn, do not touch the electric. I have both lines run now, as you can see. And I am going to set up our solar charger. I've had our solar charger since the dawn of time. It works though, and it works enough that I can set it here in the back, and this gets so much sun back here, less shade, there's not a lot of tall trees, that it works really well. The one key when you're training an animal to electric is you want to make sure that the electric is in front of a permanent fence. They're gonna try and go like straight through. That they're just like, wow, they freak out and they bolt when they get touched. I mean, I feel the same way. I have been zapped by it. It's like, wow. There's an instant freak out. The reason you put a main fence behind it is so that you're not chasing a very startled animal. So if they go somewhere, they run into the fence and they'll come back and they'll learn, instead of going forward, because that's not going to help them at all, that they go backward. So that is how you train a animal to electric. Doesn't matter if it's a dog, a goat, a sheep, a pig. Every animal we've had, this is how we've done it. Okay, my solar charger's up here. Gotta clean it off. It was sitting in the barn. And I am running a wire down to the line, which I will wrap it around from the electric part. And then I need to get a ground wire. I'll go source one of those. And once I get the ground wire in, I will then turn it on. I just set it on top one of the T-posts here that was already holding the fence. And yeah, facing south. Make sure that it's facing south, because otherwise you're not going to get as much sun, and you need sun. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I got to clean that and find a ground wire. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if it works. Come on. Oh, this is so old. I haven't used it in a long time. Oh, it might have been left on, so I got to figure this out. Which side? Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's working. So how you tell, there's a little, if you can see it, there's a little light here that flashes. Oh, I just got there. Ouch. I was touching too many things at once. Can't hear it clicking, which is one of the things that I do, but I can see the little light flashing. I see to make sure. Nope, I think I can hear it clicking. All right. Now, I'm hoping I didn't accidentally electrify this line. I might have, so I gotta go check that out. But yeah, now we just wait for these two, they're way over there right now, to touch it. And yeah, we'll see if it's working. If it's working, we'll be able to train them and be done with that. It also sounds like there's an animal in here, so I gotta go figure that out. The door was left open. All the fun things that happen. I love homesteading. It's such a fun adventure. I can't get over every day how it's like I get to do this every single day, and this is my job. I get to homestead, I get to raise my kids, and it's just amazing. So anyway, see you guys later. I apologize again. It's another day and I do not have my equipment with me. So I came out to see how the electric training was going for the babies, and they're just touching everything, and I'm like, that's really weird. What in the world? Well, I figured it out. The pigs strike again. Once again, they have done stuff. They have completely put all this wire on the ground, and it's all attached. And so either I have to jump a fence and change some wire, or I undo this knot. Sometimes pigs are really annoying and they do really stupid things. We're getting a boar today, and I don't want him in my goat pen. That's why I set up the wire initially. They completely took it off all the hooks down here. And I don't want any of the pigs, which are on this side of the fence, getting over to this side of the fence, because I don't like them going and rooting up my pasture that I have for these lovely lady babies. So like I said, I apologize again for the lack of equipment. I come out to do chores and I don't bring equipment with me. Otherwise, it has been going really well. I saw them touch the fence and they know what it is, but when it's not shocking them, they have no reason to stay away from it. And so, because it's not working, like they can't hear the buzz, none of it. Usually they can hear the buzzing and they won't go near it, and it's not a problem. So I do want to try them on the big pasture. Like I said, the big pasture is right on the other side of those woods, but they're not ready for the big pasture yet until they really respect the little lines in the fence. Before I do anything else, I think I'm going to fix this pig fence. So yeah, we'll get that going and we'll get this fixed. But I just want to give you a little update on how it was going and some of the problems that I have. You know, there's always unique things that happen when you have a homestead. You have issues and you can't do anything about it until you know that there's an issue. And this was one of those situations where I didn't realize that there was an issue until I actually started tracking down what is going on. Why is this wire so loose? And it's not even in their pen, it's in a different pen completely, because we do run one line down for both pins. So I'm gonna get this fixed, and hopefully it'll also train our new boar to this electric. We'll do 2 animals, 1 wire. Other than that, it's a glorious morning. So let me get this fixed, and then I will give you a little update on how my garden is doing. Quick tour of our garden. I've got all the kids out here. It's a mess as far as like sound still, because I still don't have my equipment. I have not gone inside yet. So the potatoes are looking great. We've gotten all the garden beds filled, and I'll show you a little bit of what we're doing right now. We're actually hilling the potatoes. We've got dirt, and we're gonna take these potatoes that we've got in here. Weed. We're gonna take the potatoes, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna put dirt about up to here so that there's the top little bit sticking out, but then everything else is not sticking out. And here's why. You bury these potatoes, and then you will actually get more growth and more potatoes in this area. Let's keep going up to a certain point. So it's kind of obvious when it stops going up, but yeah, so we're gonna hill these potatoes. We're just gonna dump a ton of dirt on this entire row. As you can see, the potatoes are doing amazing. I do have other things planted out there. You can kind of see some rows, but they are not doing as well because raccoons have been digging them up. So I need to go through, I've started, I'll point over here. That is a rabbit hutch, and they are starting to run up and down these rows. I move them 2 to 3 times a day, and they run up and down the rows, and so they will go up and down all of these rows here and eat all of the row material that's in between my plants. And so that'll keep it down and keep it nice. But yeah, so far we're doing good. Like I said, I got all these garden beds planted, and everything is growing okay. Not great because we've been in a drought. So once we get out of our drought, I think that things will do better. I've been putting straw, spent straw actually. So this is from the rabbits. And so it's got rabbit poo mixed in on the beds. And the reason I've been doing that is to try and keep some of the moisture in there. These are peppers here. And as you can see, it's just helping with some of the growth. We've got some good new growth on them. I'm happy with it. This is probably my best looking bed right now. And then my worst looking bed is right here. You can't even tell what's in it. This is melons. I do not know that we will get any melons this year. It'll just depend on how things go. But it got really dried out, and so I put a ton of straw on it, and it's kept it moist. So that's been good. Yeah, so we just continue doing this. And then I put raised potato bed. Ignore the old implement that I used to mark my rows. Raised potato bed is also doing amazingly well. You can see that they are growing and they are working well. So I would definitely do potatoes in a raised box again. They are growing very easily, and it's easier to weed that than it is to weed that. So we're gonna come in, like I said, hill all these potatoes, and that's what we're doing today for our garden work. Okay, just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like, this is a hilled row. You can see that there's just the tops barely sticking out, and then they're working on hilling this row. This is an unhilled plant. Yeah. So it gives you an idea. We take the dirt and we're gonna hill it up until it's just the top sticking out. All right, well that's kind of it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time. Bye.